You're sitting out in a detached shed, an RV park, or down at a marine dock, maybe 70 yards from the main building, and your browser is stuck on a permanent loading screen. The tiny Wi-Fi antenna built into the bezel of your laptop screen simply lacks the physical surface area and transmit power to throw a signal back across that kind of open space. When this happens, most people reach for one of two expensive fixes. You either drop $300 on a heavy-duty mesh network system, or you commit to a $50 monthly subscription for a cellular hotspot. But there is a third option floating around the market, a high-gain directional USB Wi-Fi adapter that costs less than $40. Deciding to buy one means figuring out if a $40 piece of plastic is an actual life hack for your dead zone, or a highly restrictive piece of marketing. This checklist compares upfront cash, ongoing bills, and hardware limits. Mesh routers demand steep upfront hardware costs, while cellular MiFis bleed your wallet with recurring monthly fees. The USB adapter isolates itself. You pay almost nothing upfront and never pay a monthly subscription. Manufacturers can only offer that price point by cutting features, meaning you have to accept some heavy functional compromises. Knowing exactly what those compromises are is the only way to know if this hardware will actually bridge the gap on your property. The secret to that range is the physical difference between a standard omnidirectional antenna and a 10 to 14 dBi directional panel antenna. A standard omni antenna expands radio waves uniformly in a 360-degree circle, quickly diluting its power. A directional panel focuses that energy into a tight, forward-facing cone, like a spotlight. That concentration pierces straight through solid walls, reaching up to 3 times further. But that spotlight effect has a cost. You have to manually aim the panel directly at the source router for it to catch a signal. Take your laptop into the next room, or let a strong wind shift the angle of your RV, and the connection drops out entirely. You are trading the convenience of walking around your house freely for raw, targeted penetration power. There is a physical constraint on how you connect. The adapter must be plugged straight into a computer using a USB cable. It draws all power directly from the host computer, so you don't have to hunt for a wall outlet off the grid. Because the data travels over that single cable, the internet access stops at that specific machine. If you need to boost the Wi-Fi signal for your smartphone or your tablet or a smart TV, this hardware will not help you. Beyond the physical cable, you are restricted by the wireless frequency. These adapters operate primarily on the older 2.4 GHz band. The 2.4 GHz frequency travels in long arcs that easily penetrate solid objects, while tight 5 GHz waves bounce off. However, relying on longer waves means lower top speeds, and the adapter is completely blind to modern 5 GHz only routers. To guarantee that extreme distance, the tool physically tethers you to a single machine running on a legacy radio band. Inside the plastic casing, these devices rely on older internal hardware, like the Raylink RT3070 chipset. Sourcing older silicon is exactly how the retail price stays under the $40 mark. Saving that money up front often leads to frustrating software installations and driver compatibility issues down the line. Out of the box, newer versions of macOS are frequently unsupported. If you run Linux, you might have to manually compile the drivers yourself. Taking advantage of heavily discounted hardware means you take on the tedious work of making sure your operating system can actually talk to the device. This flowchart shows a strict logic test you can run to make sure you don't buy the wrong equipment. If you need to connect your phone, tablet, and laptop at the same time, stop here. You need to buy a travel router or a cellular hotspot. If no, move to the next question. Are you connecting to a 2.4 GHz network, and do you know the password? Without those two things, you're out of luck. 5 GHz only networks, or complex public captive portals, will render the adapter entirely useless. If you clear that hurdle, move to the final check, your operating system. Windows users have the highest success rate, while modern Mac users will likely face immediate driver blocks. Passing this checklist proves that the adapter is a highly specialized tool built for a narrow set of conditions, not a magic fix for your whole house. The perfect match for this device is a writer working on a laptop in a detached barn, or a stationary camper who just needs a single solid connection on a Windows machine. For those specific users, a $40 one-time purchase delivers a massive return on investment by eliminating monthly data plans. But if you want to roam freely from room to room, keep your smartphone connected to the local Wi-Fi. Or you only own devices with USB-C ports, pass on this entirely. You will be much better served by paying for a dedicated Wi-Fi repeater or investing in a whole home mesh network upgrade. A directional USB adapter is essentially a Wi-Fi sniper rifle. It is devastatingly effective at hitting one target from a long way off, but only if you know exactly how to aim it.